Good morning, folks, and welcome back to the channel. So we're starting off with a little bit of crypto bubbles this morning for you. Everything's just really unsteady at the moment. We're at a point where there's going to be a lot of speculation as we lead up to the bull run, but there's a lot of things to take into play with the bull run itself. There are countdowns available. There's a lot of them out there that you can simply just have a Google and you can find them. We are 193 days away from that halving countdown. There is a lot of speculation around it. Something we do know is around a year afterwards, things do tend to move in the direction that everybody would like to see things move in, but nothing is ever guaranteed in crypto. This is something we've learned many times over. So with this speculation, as we roll in, there's going to be different institutions that do want to get involved in crypto, and creating environments for these institutions is absolutely key. How can you replace current day infrastructure? How can you best utilize blockchain technology? So with that all being said, I think it's going to be a very, very interesting week. We are looking on the day. Hopefully, as we roll out, a lot of things seem to be going into quite a heavy short squeeze. We are seeing this with XRP. So let's move on to the main subject of our video, which is where are we currently with the L1 and what was this very poor based route of decisions that led us to this point. And this is, we have to go back and we have to look at the proposal that was proposed on the 7th month of this year, on the 17th day of that month to be precise. And this was for the L1 team to build a wallet independent for the chain owned. Before this went up, I had discussed with the L1 from top to bottom. There's a few developers that can back me up on that. In itself, we were told it was doable. In fact, we were told it was done. That's the worst part about it. After we got this proposed, after we got this passed, LBA left. I was told by the remaining L1 developers that they were L1s, they didn't do L2 work, they would never be able to do something like this, and it was absolutely impossible for them to do it. Then I was told they would get a copy of the code base. Then I was told that the copy of the code base, they couldn't work with it. Then I was told loads of other things, and then eventually it just got to the point where we saw that back deal happen, where everything went completely under the community and a full governance-based decision was simply made between a few people to benefit them. So where are we now? Well, Gevik stating he's investigating the possibilities to continue the development of Station and the wallet extension. We have to figure out the hosting and several technical issues. With a little bit of luck, the L1 team will also have the documentation website up and running at TerraC.money. This is very interesting because if you had just did what you were supposed to do from the beginning, if you had followed governance, if you hadn't tried to cut corners, we wouldn't be here right now. We would not be here. And this is always going to be the risk with any third party that we're paying for something we don't own, right? This is always going to be a risk that if payments stop, that third party infrastructure goes away. And lots of people have always pointed the finger at all nodes. Say, oh, yeah, they'll just go. Sorry, but they got outright shut down by the majority of the community, and they're still here. They're not moaning. They're not kicking up a fuss. They've not put out any tweets. They're not going on any personal vendettas against anybody. They just accepted it for what it is. The reason why it's like this for them, they've got so much to lose. When you build into a blockchain like all nodes, like myself, like others, you have so much to lose. They love this chain just as much as I love this chain. And at this point, this is all very good. And it's great to see that we're moving forward. But this is a a point in time where we need to stop, we need to look, and we need to think to ourselves, this can't happen again. The biggest issue you're always going to find is these developers simply do not want to work with me. I'm currently being ignored. I'm on the ignored list. I'm not worthy of a response from such people. But what I want is for the chain to have its own independent systems. And with all of the money we're saving, right, we can spend time to develop similar stuff that Luna have developed with Foundation, which completely solves the endpoint issue. I'm going to be doing a video later on today. There is another video coming out later today, burning versus building utility. But we're also going to be doing a video really deeper parts and undergoings, the ingoings, everything about Foundation that we currently know, because we need to look at what's going on around us. And if we can understand they're spending all of the money, they're spending all of the time, they're doing the R&D, they've got the staff that are dedicated to building out the infrastructure for the chain. If we can harness that and we can take that kind of business attitude, utilize the money that is being saved for actual things that are going to benefit this blockchain, it's going to make a hell of a difference. So do keep an eye out for that video later on today. As I said, there are 2 more videos coming out today, so do check those out. One of those videos, it has some stuff in it that's going to be available on the Patreon for anybody who wants to go over there and grab it totally free of charge. Just head over, links in the description. So if, for example, they had just, when they got given the copy of the code base, they had just done what they said they were going to do. They had followed governance. All of this time that has been spent right now to get to this point wouldn't have happened. We would have had our own independent system, which then would have made Hexagon completely redundant anyway. The thing is, right, people's decisions are based on things like that. And that's what it comes down to, bite to crunch. Nobody wants to take the risk. Well, I say nobody, there's a lot of people that have. Not a lot of people want to take the risk of building it all into the chain because you've got no safety barriers, right? The chain dies, you die. The likelihood of you being able to get your project is very slim. Whereas if you build a third-party system, you can simply rebrand and move off, or you've got your own DEX or whatever. You've created a level of security because you don't really trust the chain. You don't really fancy building into it. You don't really fancy doing all of the things that really do put you at risk. And sadly, we need people like this because nothing's guaranteed. Like I said at the beginning of the video, nothing's guaranteed in crypto. And the idea, I think, for a lot of people is to just come to the chain, buy a bag, and maybe build a project. But they don't understand the core concept of how our blockchain works, which is if you want to build on the chain, create a validator and build off of that validator. From that point onwards, everything you build into your validator should be returning back to you at some point. And it's all about bleeding to get to somewhere. None of us can be that guy that invested in Shiba Inu the day before it run up 1.2 million%. We just can't be that kind of person. We can't exactly be this guy who gets a screwed up transfer, or this girl or person, stop it, I'm digging a hole. We can't all be these people, can we, that just get super lucky. So for me, I've always, from the day we could create validators, I knew that this was the only way to build on chain. Why would they build it like this otherwise? If you didn't want to utilize this kind of technology, you're probably on the wrong blockchain. Because like I said, you build everything into the node and the node starts to benefit the holders, the delegates, the different people that are involved, yourself, your project, your developers, everybody within your little ecosphere benefits. And on top of that, the chain benefits, more liquidity, more burns. So do keep an eye out for those videos, folks. Other than that, just stay safe, stay humble. If you are this person who's managed to receive almost $500,000 of unrecoverable funds, my donation address is down in the bottom. If you're feeling like it, let me know. Folks, stay safe and I'll catch you in the next one.